First of all, we will move towards what is the motive to study this course, why we are going to study this VLSI design course, and what will be the course outcomes after we have complete, if we will be completing the course. After completing the course, what will be our outcomes we will be going through. So at the end of the class, you will be going to get that how we can design and develop a MOS technology, and how the MOS technology have evolved from the last 3 decades. What are the different changes taking place in the MOS design technology? We will also study different MOS transistor related issues. What are the challenges that we are facing, the engineers are facing by moving from 1 micrometer, or you can say 10 to 15 micrometer CMOS technology to 1 micrometer, or even further smaller sizes, that is 5 nanometer. So today, the most of the transistors are being manufactured on 5 to 10 or 15 nanometer technology. So what are the different challenges the researchers have faced from moving from 10, you can say 10 micrometer to 10 nanometer? So that we will be studying. Also, based on the CMOS technology, we will be designing the logic circuits, and what are the fabrication processes, and what are the fabrication issues, and how the fabrication takes place, and how the layout designing is taken place, and what are the different design rules. We will study that. And also the circuit characterization, means how the performance of a circuit can be estimated based on its characteristics and its performance. Okay, so these are the course outcomes. The next we will go for the syllabus. So the syllabus, we are having 4 units. In that, the first unit we will be studying what are the different trend and projections in VLSI circuit. That means what are the different steps taken by the researchers to evolve MOS technology to this level. So we will be taking that into the consideration, and how the next topic will be the how flow diagram of a VLSI circuit is there. So to design a circuit, VLSI circuit, we basically follow a predefined setup. So there is a predefined steps to be followed for designing a VLSI circuit. So any circuit we are going to design, then we will be following a set of patterns or set of steps, so that we will study. And then the electrical characterization of MOS transistors. That means how the functioning of MOS transistors take place. We will study that, and I think you have already studied in the third year courses. So it will be an overview to the operation of MOS transistors. Okay, and we will be also studying the bond energy band diagram of the MOS transistors, and how actually MOS is metal oxide semiconductor. So metal have each material have its own energy band diagram, but we will be, if we are combining metal oxide and semiconductor together, we can have a different energy band diagram. Okay, so we will study that also in quite brief. And then CV characteristics of MOS uh, capacitor. That means what is the capacitance and voltage relation in case of MOSFET. So how the MOS capacitances are changing with respect to input applied voltage, we will be seeing that. The next topic will be the effects of short channel. So in the last 3 decades, we are reducing the size of the transistors. So once we are reducing the size of the transistor, there are different problems, or you can say challenges, being faced by the designers. So here, if we are designing a long channel device, or we are designing a short channel device, then what are the challenges, what are the disadvantages short channel devices are having, and what are the effects on the device performance? We will study in that short channel effects topic. And the next one is spice parameters of MOS transistors. So basically, a MOS transistor is analyzed by using EDA tools. So EDA tools are used for designing circuits and performing their some operations and observing the output. So once we are observing the output, we will be having a software set of softwares. That softwares will be designing the circuit. Suppose an inverter is there, inverter, we are designing inverter. So once we design an inverter on the software, we will be providing an input and we will be getting an output. So we will check whether the output we are getting is in respect to the inverter performance or not. That means if we are giving input 0, output should be 1. So this input and output we can check by using SPICE analysis. So SPICE is basically here for analyzing MOS transistors performance for a particular circuit. So in the lab part, we will be using this software, the VLSI lab. Uh, in that VLSI lab, we will be basically designing the digital circuits and analyzing its performance. So SPICE parameters are used to define a physical MOS into software. So a circuit is there. That circuit, a simple transistor, can be defined in software by using SPICE parameters. So we will study that how SPICE parameters are written and how we can define MOS transistors in software form. Okay, so this will be the complete in unit 1. The next one is unit 2. In that unit 2, we will study the basic VLSI design style that we have studied. We will be going through the flow. That flow will be generalized form. In that, we will be going more deeper into the VLSI design styles. So there are different methods we can apply to design a VLSI circuit. And also we will see NMOS and CMOS process flow. So NMOS and CMOS process flow here basically tells you that how an NMOS or how an CMOS device can be fabricated. So there are different fabrication steps we will be following. So we will study one by one that how finally we get a transistor, single transistors, how we can get. There are different steps and that steps are very complex. So fabrication process to any chip is basically the most important thing. So once we have got the chip, it will be easy to perform operations. But while getting a chip, there are different steps and that step need very specific care and protection. So we will be studying where we need to take care and where we need to take protection. So there are different steps we will be studying in process flow of CMOS and NMOS. Once we have designed the CMOS or NMOS, that means we have designed the transistors, we have fabricated the transistors. We can use that transistor to design circuits. Okay, so here we are basically studying that how we can design a VLSI circuit or any digital circuit. So here basically is circuit designing. So once we are going for circuit designing, so we will start with device fabrication. Once we have fabricated the device, we will use that device for designing circuits. So we will start with circuit. In that circuit, the basic circuit is inverter. Okay, so we will be designing inverter circuit. Okay, that inverter will be designed by using NMOS, PMOS, and CMOS transistors. Okay, so once we have fabricated the transistor, we will use that transistor to design inverters. Inverter is the basic building block of all the digital circuits. Okay, so once we are going for designing inverter circuit, that inverter can be used for analyzing even the complex circuits also. So inverter can be used to design, you can say inverter designing can be compared with the designing of suppose NOT gate or NAND gate. So we know that NAND gate and NOR gate are the two universal gates by using which all the gates can be formed, okay, designed. So once we are designing inverter and we are analyzing its performance and how we can modify the circuit to get our desired output, in similar way, we can design any digital circuit so that we can get our desired output. That means output here is what is the power, what is the delay of the circuit, what is the number of transistors required. Okay, so these are the, you can say, outputs. These are the requirements that will be having. So based on that requirement, we will be designing the circuit. Okay, so based on inverter circuit design, we can go for any circuit design. So that's why we will be studying the inverter design in as a basic base, you can say. In that inverter design, we will be studying the noise margin. Okay, so here noise margin, voltage transfer curve, delay computations, power dissipation, and scaling in CMOS circuit. So these are the different topics we will be covering in this course. So, up to noise margin, VTC curve is voltage transfer curve. So what is the input voltage? In respect to that input voltage, what is the output voltage? Okay, so the curve plotted as output voltage with input voltage is called your voltage transfer curve. Okay, so also we will be saying how delay computations are done in digital circuits, then performance of this digital circuits is estimated by its power dissipation along with the multiplication of power dissipation and delay, that is called energy. So we will be studying delay and power so that the energy can be calculated of a digital circuit. Also we will be saying scaling in CMOS circuit. Scaling means once we are going for changing the channel length, then what will be the effect on the circuit performance, that we will be studying. And once we have designed the inverter, we will be designing different gates. By using different gates, we can design different combinational circuits. Okay, so based on designing the combinational circuit, we can proceed to any other complex circuit. So these are the step by step flow, or you can say evolvement to the higher circuit. Okay, the complex circuit. So we will be studying basic with CMOS design. First of all, we will design the transistors, then inverter. Then by using inverter method, we will be designing different gates. After designing the gates, we will be going for combinational circuits. And then by using combinational circuit, we can go for complex circuit. Okay. So this is how the VLSI design style is there. Or you can say VLSI design flow works. Okay. The next one is unit 3. In the unit 3, we will be, once we have designed the circuit, we will be going for its layout design. Okay. So before going for fabrication, so there are very less number of fabrications in the world. Only limited are there. Okay. And because fabrication is very costly method, so that's why there are very limited number of companies that really manufacture or fabricate the chips. Okay, so the fabrication industry, or you can say fabrication companies, are known as fab labs. We, in short form, we say fab labs. Okay, fabrication labs. So these fabrication labs, what they require is, if you want to design a circuit, you need to have its layout. Okay, once you have taken the layout, you will give that layout to fabrication labs. You will give that layout to fabrication lab. Then that fabrication lab will design your circuit based on your layout. Okay, so based on the combinational circuit or any circuit we have designed, we need to have its layout. So we will check, we will study that what are the different design rules. Okay, what are the different steps we need to follow for designing layout of any circuit. So we will be studying that in the third unit. And then once we have designed the combination circuit, we can also design dynamic circuit. So we will be studying the dynamic circuit and what are the different advantages of dynamic circuit with respect to combinational circuit. Here, dynamic circuit, basically dynamic circuits and static circuit. Two type of circuits are there. In static circuits, what we do is whatever input we have given, we will be checking the output. But in dynamic circuit, we will be checking outputs by connecting a capacitance. Okay. So once at the output, we are considering the capacitance as a parameter, we will be studying the dynamic circuits. Here, in dynamic circuits, basically in static circuit, what we do is we will be taking the output at steady state. We say like one circuit we have connected input, the output reach to the infinity. Okay, the output takes infinity time to reach to the steady state. Suppose if it is at a steady state, what is the output that will be considered as static output? In dynamic case, with respect to time, the output will be changing. So once after giving the input, after 1 second, what is the output? After 2 seconds, what is the output? That will be considered as the dynamic circuit. Okay. So in dynamic circuit, we will be considering the time as a parameter, and based on time, that is clock. Based on clock, we will be designing the output. That in dynamic circuit, if this is the clock at particular time period, what will be the output, we will be checking that. Okay. The next one is basic principles of pass transistor. So there are different logic gates, logic styles, you can say. Like here we are using CMOS for designing circuits. Okay. Previous to that, we were using NMOS and PMOS for designing the inverter. So similarly, these NMOS, PMOS, and CMOS, these are the logics through which we design a circuit. Similarly, there are other logics also that are called pass transistor logic and transmission gate logic. So based on the pass transistor logic and transmission gate logic, we will be studying the different combinational and dynamic circuits. So we will compare whether CMOS circuits are more efficient or pass transistor circuits are more efficient or transmission gate circuits are more efficient. Okay. So there are different logic styles. Okay. These logic styles are there. So we will be designing, suppose inverter. We will be designing the inverter by using CMOS, by using pass transistor, by using transmission gates. And these designing will get some power dissipation, some delay, and based on that, we will be comparing that out of these three, which one is more efficient. Okay, so these type of analysis we will be studying theory part in the online lecture, but in the lab part we will be studying the comparison by performing the direct simulations of the circuit with respect to pass transistor and CMOS and transmission gate. Okay, so these comparison part will come into the lab section, VLSI lab section. So I will be sharing you the software. One software is there that is open source. You can use for designing circuits, and you can check whether the inputs and outputs are with respect to your desired specification or not. So we can have the lab session with you. So lab session can also be performed. There are other way to perform our lab session. So some IITs are having virtual labs. So we are checking that also. Whichever will be more, you can say, friendly, user friendly, we will be sharing you that how we will be taking our labs. And the next topic we will be considering is CMOS transmission gate, pass transistor logic. So based on the transmission gate and pass transistor, we will be designing the CMOS logic like combinational and dynamic circuits also. In dynamic circuits, dynamic CMOS circuits, there are different types of dynamic CMOS circuits. In that, domino CMOS, Nora CMOS, Zipper CMOS. These are the, you can say, more efficient logics. So we will be studying these logics in more details. Okay. So basically, the domino logic circuits are basically used mostly for designing the digital circuits. So this is one of the research area also. So currently there are different research going on for designing domino CMOS logic. So based on domino CMOS logic, we will be designing any gate. Okay. So domino CMOS logic is one of the method by using which we can design either inverter or CMOS, NOR gate, NAND gate. So we will be studying that also. The next is BiCMOS behavior. So here BiCMOS, we have studied CMOS, and in the first year you have studied the BJT, that is bipolar junction transistors. Okay, so this BiCMOS is combination of BJT and CMOS. Okay, so here actually the BJTs are faster than CMOS. Okay, but CMOS is having lower power dissipation. So by combining BJT and CMOS, we can design a circuit. So that circuit will be considered as BiCMOS. So what will be the advantage of this BiCMOS and what will be the disadvantage of BiCMOS? We will be having in unit 3. Okay. The next one is unit 4. In the unit 4, we will go for designing semiconductor memory. So how the memories are designed, we will be going for that. So there are different memories we have already known, like ROM, RAM. Okay, so ROM are read-only memory, RAM is random access memory. So based on different memory categories, we will be studying the design of these memories. So we know that in our mobile also we are having some 32 GB, 46, 64 GB memories. So what are that memories are really made of? We will see that how that memories are basically designed or manufactured. So we will see that in this semiconductor memories part. Okay, so it is one of the interesting also. The next one is VLSI testing. So VLSI testing, what happens once we have, so throughout 1, 2, and 3 units, we are considering the designing of circuits. Okay, so once we have designed the circuit, we cannot directly put that circuit into the market, like to the customer, like this is the circuit, you need to use it. Okay, so before going for uh, marketing, or you can say before going for selling the particular circuit or chip, any chip, what we do is we do VLSI testing. That means we go for testing of the chips. So there are, while manufacturing any chip, there are chips manufactured in million and 110 and 100 million numbers. Okay, once one chip is not fabricated at one time. Okay, so once we are fabricating 1 million or 10 million chips at a time, we have to check the chips, whether these chips are perfectly working according to our requirement or not. Okay, so this testing of chips will be done by VLSI testing. So there are different methods to check the chips. Okay, so we will be going for fault modeling, stuck at fault, means these are the different steps, or you can say these are the different processes by which we can detect faults in any manufactured chip. Okay, so if 10 million chips are there, we cannot go for each and every chip testing. So that will take more time. So we will be having a set of methods. There are some set of methods. That set of methods will be using to detect the faults. If there are some fault, we will rectify that fault. If that fault cannot be rectified, we will throw that chip. Okay, we will check another chip. So this in manufacturing section, or you can say the circuit designing or IC designing, the one of the costly step is your fabrication, and then it comes to testing. So testing is one of the costly step in chip designing. So once you go for after your final year completion, you can go for industry, private industries. So in that industry, most of the requirements is for designing. First of all, the designing will be done by using VLSI, or you can say there are different softwares, Verilog and MATLAB. These are the softwares used for designing. So basically, system Verilog are preferred for designing the circuits. And then the most of the requirements or vacancies are there for electronic engineers are basically in the analog circuit designing. Okay, in analog circuit designing, that layout part and the testing part takes more of the, you can say, number of candidates. So if we are going for electronic industry, you need to have the basic and analysis of basic knowledge of this testing part also. So this testing part are basically done by using Verilog software, system Verilog and Verilog, and they use scripting languages. Okay, so for Synopsys, suppose Synopsys is one of the electronic EDA industry that go for designing chips. So it is having its own scripting language, that is TCL, like Python. There are different scripting language. Okay, okay. So at least for going to industry, you need to have at least one scripting language. Okay. So try to have, if we are getting some time, try to have overview of these scripting languages also. So, and even electronic industry is basically in today's time, it will definitely go up. So look for different industries in the electronic field. So, today, after today lecture, just search 10 number of electronic industries, or you can say companies that are working in India. just go for it. I think most of you might not be knowing how many companies are there in India working on electronic circuit designing. So just go for a check. Okay, just Google it and find out the names. What are the different companies, and based on that you can track their news and their vacancies if there is vacancies are there, and you can find out even the internship also. Okay, so you should search for internship from now onwards only, so that you can get internship. So if you want to enter into the electronic industry, you should be having internship. Okay, so they don't take you for permanent post if you are not having any internship section. Okay, so search for internship, and if you get that internship, that will be very good to enter into electronic industry. So okay, so testing part and analog design engineers and Verilog, system Verilog and Verilog designing. These are the fields that require electronic engineers. Okay, so you need to search for that. So these are the list of experiments. We will be going through this VLSI design lab part. So the first one is design of CMOS inverter and perform the DC and transient analysis. So here we are going for designing CMOS inverter, and that inverter designing with respect to CMOS. Sorry. And we will perform DC and transient analysis. So here DC analysis and transient analysis are, what are the DC and transient analysis? So DC is we are giving some input and we are getting the output at a particular DC level. Okay, suppose we are giving 1.2 volt as the input. So what will be the output if 1.2 is the input voltage? So that will be your DC analysis. But in transient analysis, we will be varying the input voltage. We will be varying input voltage with respect to time, and then we will be analyzing the output also with respect to time. That will be considered as your time transient analysis. So in the lab part, we will be designing different CMOS circuits, starting with CMOS inverter, because in the study theory part also we have started with inverter designing. So because inverter is the basic circuit in VLSI design, so we will be starting inverter circuit. So based on that, we will go for higher circuits, like we will be designing XOR gate by using CMOS and getting the same performance analysis, DC and transient analysis. Then MUX, we will be designing MUX. Okay, then we will be also designing the layout. Once we have designed the inverter circuit, we will design the layout, that how inverter layout or any transistor layout looks like. We will be taking that also. And then the other experiments are Verilog, Verilog HDL. So Verilog is one of the software or tool that is used for designing hardware. So HDL stands for hardware descriptive language. So what happens once a transistor is there? That transistor is a hardware, and that transistor is connected to 5 volt as input, and we are connecting output voltmeter connected to the output. So this hardware representation can be done in Verilog also. Okay, so that's why it is called Verilog. That is Verilog HDL, hardware descriptive language. So in Verilog, we can have a transistor, and that transistor can be considered as the input and output, and its performance we can detect by using Verilog also. Okay, so we will be using Verilog to design 4x1 MUX, and how to we can design a ROM in the Verilog. We will also see that. So these are the one of the list of experiments we need to perform, and these are the different books you need to prefer. Okay, so basically the most important book is SM Kang. Okay, this CMOS integrated circuit, CMOS digital integrated circuit analysis and design. This is the one of the best book for VLSI design. Okay, go for it. And if something is not available in this book, you can find that in Streetman. In Streetman, it is only for the first unit. In the first unit, we will be going for basic overview of basic transistor, CMOS transistor or NMOS transistor, PMOS transistors. Okay, so what is the basic functioning of CMOS transistors. That for that you can refer this Benjamin statement. Okay, so statement Banerjee, it will be helpful. And for CV curve was there in the first unit. That will be considered to be taken from this statement Banerjee book. Okay. Otherwise, all the topics can be taken from the Kang book. Okay. This Kang book is one for all. You can say it will cover everything.